Today I'm going to show you a stitch I'm calling the Bobble Brioche. It's worked very easily as usual, and you need a number of stitches divisible by 2 plus 2 edge stitches. And you start with a wrong side row, row 1. I wrap the yarn around the finger 2 times usually for knitting more tightly, but for a brioche stitch this should be worked less tightly, and so I'm wrapping it around only 2 times. And we start with an edge stitch and 1 slip stitch with the yarn on the needle and on the stitch, and purl 1, slip 1 with yarn over, and purl 1, slip yarn with yarn on the needle and on the stitches, purl 1, and repeat this, alternating to the end of the row. Last stitch, edge stitch, second row, right side, edge stitch. Now you knit the single stitch, so knit 1, and you slip again this double stitch that was created by the yarn over. You slip it again with yarn over and knit 1, slip with yarn on the needle and on the stitches, knit 1, slip 1, knit 1. And repeat to the end of the row, and 1 edge stitch. Row 3, wrong side, 1 edge stitch. Now you have a triple stitch even, and you now slip this purlwise, but the yarn in front of the stitches, not over the needles or over the stitches, in front of the stitches. Purl 1 and slip this triple stitch with yarn in front of the stitches. Purl 1 and so on. Slip the triple stitch, yarn in front of the stitches. And at the end 1 edge stitch. Row 4, one edge stitch. The single stitch is knitted, so knit 1, and this multiple stitch is knitted as 1 stitch or knit together. Knit 1, knit the single stitch, and knit together this multi-stitch. Knit 1 and knit the multi-stitch as 1 stitch. Repeat to the end of the row and 1 edge stitch. Row 5 is just an offset of 1 stitch, and we are starting over with offsetting 1 stitch. Purl 1 and slip 1 with yarn over. Purl 1, slip 1 purlwise with yarn over. Purl 1, slip 1 purlwise with yarn on the stitches on the needle. So as you see, it's a very simple pattern. Repeat. Row 6, edge stitch. Now we slip again the double stitch with yarn over. We knit 1, slip the double stitch with yarn over, knit 1, slip the double stitch from right with yarn on the needles and on the stitches, knit 1, alternating. Edge stitch at the end, and row 7, edge stitch, purl 1, and slip this triple stitch purlwise but with yarn in front of the stitches, not no yarn over. Purl 1, slip purlwise, yarn in front of the stitches, purl 1, slip purlwise, yarn in front, and so on. To the end of the row. Don't forget the edge stitch and the last row, 1 edge stitch, knit together this triple stitch, knit 1, knit the next one together, knit it as 1 stitch, knit 1, knit as 1 stitch, knit 1, and so on. And after 8 rows you start over with row 1. This is a nice and very cozy and warm stitch for winter garments, for hats or jackets, and also the back side looks really nice. Enjoy!